a black woman or slave, obviously a slave, right? Didn't genuinely fall in love with a white slave owner.
I can see that happen amongst with the children.
Syndrome?
Oh, that's Stockholm syndrome.
Ain't it?
That's exactly That's
okay.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe there could be cases of that. I'm pretty sure Stockholm syndrome was nothing new. I'm pretty sure that's been going on like forever. But
damn.
Yeah.
So what? So a slave just couldn't just legitimately fall in love with a.
I mean, would you follow somebody that's oppressing you?
I mean, I shouldn't. I mean, I wouldn't. But like, I mean, the heart. You know how the heart does what the heart. does.
I'm just saying that's somebody that beats your mother and your father, belittles them, but you choose to love them.
Trying to just feel safe.
So, all right. So that's
all right. Hey, the technician doesn't talk.
Technician don't talk. I ain't gonna lie to you. Sign language.
And I don't think those black women wanted to do that, but they did it for the better good of the people.
And we appreciate those women. Yeah. Go ahead on.
We appreciate the black women that chose to be, it's gonna sound terrible, prostitutes for the better good of the people.
Man, right, I did. Yep. If you want to call them that, but I didn't call them prostitutes. I called them warriors. They were warriors. They were soldiers. We sent them behind many enemy lines to get a job done, and they got that shit done. That's why they say you need something to do. You go send a goddamn black woman to do it. They gonna get that shit done.
They did get that shit done. I'm just saying, hey, black women are queens. I swear to God.
I mean, so we just that's out.
It's tough. No, it's really tough. I mean, that was warfare. That's how bad it was back then. That like you have to really consider how shitty of a situation it was back then. These people had no numbers. They had no weapons. They weren't even treated as humans.
Okay, so
what's up, everybody? Chicago Black Delegation podcast. So we got a little bit different of a setup here. I'm sitting in the middle. We only got 3 people running today, but that don't matter though. So we still got some good content we want to react to. Right now we got a guy goes by the name of FD Signifier. He is I would say the kind of the head honcho of the leftist space on YouTube right now. The guys is kind of leading the fight on put socialism forward in the YouTube area and everything like that. And for the most part, he says a lot of things that I may not agree with. But at the same time, if there's nothing else, but I would say that I do agree with him more than I would disagree with him. Fact of the matter is, he knows a whole lot about Black history, and and anybody can learn a lot from his videos. So here we got a video that's all about interracial dating and its impact on Black culture as we know it. So go hit that video, bro. Matter of fact, yeah, make supersize it too.
In slavery, Black men and women were viewed as subhuman property, as well as hypersexual and animalistic. Our body parts were at times literally dissected and put on display in museums, and our humanity and autonomy was persistently violated, with women being the main target of sexual violence by white slave masters and overseers, often producing biracial children who would then become the legal property of their white fathers. That said, Black men were not safe from sexual violence either. Awful homophobic faux documentaries notwithstanding, the practice of sexual torture and humiliation of Black male slaves, often referred to as buck breaking, was enacted upon Black male slaves by both male and female masters alike. So no Black body was safe during slavery. Yet, stories then and now about love affairs between slaves and whites.
Consider that New Year's resolutions are not the answer for you this year. You need real solutions, and therapy can help with that. As a therapist, I see this
conversation about slavery and
In slavery, black men and women were viewed as subhuman property, as well as hypersexual and animalistic. Our body parts were at times literally dissected and put on display in museums, and our humanity and autonomy was persistently violated, with women being the main target of sexual violence by white slave masters and overseers, often producing biracial children who would then become the legal property of their white fathers. That said, black men were not safe from sexual violence either. Awful homophobic faux documentaries notwithstanding, the practice of sexual torture and humiliation of black male slaves, often referred to as buck breaking, was enacted upon black male slaves by both male and female masters alike. So no black body was safe during slavery. Yet, stories then and now about love affairs between slaves and whites are not rare. These stories often attempt to depict these love affairs as consensual and two-sided, greatly downplaying the obvious power imbalance between a black slave and a white slave owner. But the reality is that even if it wasn't an overt act of physical violence, any intimate contact between a slave and an owner was an act of assault, as these slaves literally had no right to bodily autonomy, thus they could not consent.
So I'm gonna ask you guys a question based on what he just said, and mostly I want to know it because I really want to know the extent of y'all research regarding this. Based on what you heard, right? Could slaves consent given the circumstances?
No, there's property. Yeah, there's property.
Okay, so you would say that so you don't think there was a case where a black woman or slave, obviously a slave, right, didn't genuinely fall in love with a white slave owner?
I can see that happen amongst with the children.
Syndrome?
Oh, that's Stockholm syndrome.
Ain't it?
That's exactly it. That's
Okay.
it. Yeah, that's what it is.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe there could be cases of that. I'm pretty sure Stockholm syndrome is nothing new. I'm pretty sure it's been going on like forever. But
Damn.
yeah,
So a slave just couldn't just legitimately fall in love with a.
I mean, would you follow somebody that's oppressing you?
I mean, I shouldn't. I mean, I wouldn't. But like, I mean, the heart. You know how the heart does what the heart.
I mean, I'm just saying that's somebody that beats your mother and your father, belittles them, but you choose to love them.
Trying to just feel safe.
So, all right. So that's that.
all right. Hey, the technician doesn't talk.
Technician don't talk. I ain't gonna lie to you. Sign language. But yeah, my answer was like arguably. I would say arguably, right? I would say I'm using the term arguably very, very loosely, and I'm not going to argue it. Arguably, I would say they can fall in love with their slave master, but I mean, it was prohibited to do that.
Is it like real love though? I mean,
I don't know.
Did the woman fall in love for self-preservation because she tried not to get her ass beat?
You asking the wrong dude.
I
I'm just saying.
Yeah, that falls on people's perception of how.
Like, because
love
people
works.
forget. Black men and slaves, they did use the black women to help manipulate master. They knew that he liked, that was the fun, but they didn't like doing that shit. That was just to help everybody else fuck out. So he wouldn't get fucking ass beat today, or raped, or shot today. Like, if he liked you so much, but they used their, to manipulate and they wore him a little bit, you know what I'm saying, to help manipulate. They actually said that's how they got certain laws passed in the 60s. They used black women to manipulate white politicians, and that was that was actually a skill. Like, they sent the black women to certain ones to manipulate certain white politicians because they knew they had a thing for color women.
Those radical Republicans is what they call them. They fell in love with black mistresses, right? And then they made way for some black.
And I don't think those black women wanted to do that, but they did it for the better good of the people.
And we appreciate those women. Yeah. Go ahead.
We appreciate the black women that chose to be, it's gonna sound terrible, prostitutes for the better good of the people.
Man, right, I did. Yep. If you want to call them that, but I didn't call them prostitutes. I called them warriors. They were warriors. They were soldiers. We sent them behind many enemy lines to get a job done, and they got that shit done. That's why they say you need something to do. You go send a goddamn black woman to do it. They gonna get that shit done.
They did get that shit done. I'm just saying, black women are queens. I swear to God.
I mean, so we just, that's
It's tough. No, it's really tough.
I mean,
that was warfare. That's how bad it was back then. That like you have to really consider how shitty of a situation it was back then. These people had no numbers. They had no weapons. They weren't even treated as humans.
Okay,
90% of the time.
so
they had to use they had to come at them like they was puppies.
to piggyback off that. So if a black woman takes it upon herself to go into a field that's not respectable and use the money to support black businesses or a black community, that woman is respected. That's what y'all saying.
I see you try to loophole it to make it something.
That's not a loophole.
Yeah, no, I know what you're trying to do. You know what I'm saying?
That's not a loophole.
Let me explain, right? I'm saying those black women respected because they had to use their bodies and their ability to woo men, white men, to make sure that we had better laws and foundation for black people moving forward.
Okay, hold on.
You know what I'm saying?
I got that part.
Okay.
I don't disagree.
Mm-hmm.
But if you take the times now, we are, according to Dr. Umar Johnson, shout out to Dr. Umar Johnson, but I disagree on this one point, that we are worse now than we were then.
Economically, we are.
We are systemic system. Mm-hmm. We are oppressed, which is, I argue with that too, but whatever. I'm going to go with that notion. We are oppressed, and we have black women that take part in sex work who take their money, who are making $10,000, $20,000 a month, into black businesses and into our black culture. Are those women respected? The ones that go into Pornhub and OnlyFans and stuff like that?
I don't think we making it. Are you making a statement? Are you making an argument about being respected?
I'm not. I'm just saying what they did for the cause. See, you're going down to the lowest. No, let me explain.
Using your body.
Hold on.
For sex.
He understands what you're
No,
saying.
I understand what you're saying. No, I understand what you're saying. To a point of you're right? But would they be as well respected as the people that actually got laws and certain things passed for us? No, they won't.
They're not doing it now.
I mean, if they're doing it, then do thumbs up to them. Keep the hard work and keep sucking dick. I appreciate you. But I'm saying, I'm just saying. I don't think they're doing that. But I'm just saying, if they're doing that, then they're doing. I mean, if that's their purpose in life, to say I'm gonna do the hard job so we can, to black people to benefit as a whole. Then, hey, I take my hats off to them. But most of them not doing the hard job to give back to back business. They're just lazy and they want to make money off their sexual prowess. These women weren't lazy. These women strategically sent to certain politicians to achieve a greater good for black people. So I'm saying you're conflating those women with prostitutes, and these women were technically not
using your body for monetary gain. Basically prostitutes.
Yeah.
And then you have to ask yourself, who do you respect more? The woman that took the hard road, like I don't know if I want to say Rosa Parks, but we'll say Rosa Parks.
She's a bad example. It's Bayes.
Oh, okay, good point.
The woman she was modeled after.
Yes, the woman she was modeled after. Yes, Rosa Parks.
Yeah. Someone like that who might have got into the political field, who marched with Martin Luther King, who did her work, or the woman that went behind enemy lines, took a couple of white cocks, and then got some laws changed. Who you respect more?
I don't think it's about a respect more. I respect both of them. I don't think it's a more greater in that they both had to do something that was difficult to achieve a greater good.
Okay, so if you take a woman of these times who is, let's say she is, taking her money into black communities, changing laws, stuff like this, do prostitution work, or someone that's taking the political role, speaking on the panel, going up to Congress, question B, who do you respect more?
I would respect the person who gets the more leeway. Like, not leeway, but who gets more done. So if that person that's doing the prostitution and she getting more laws passed than the person who's actually doing the hard way, I would have to say, your way ain't working, you need to go start sucking some dick.
This is going to be one hell of an episode, cuz.
But I'm just saying, that's if that was happening like that.
Canceled?
No, it's okay. We either gonna get canceled or we gonna be millionaires. Nah, but jokes aside though, as far as I'm concerned, man, like all's fair in love and war. I hate that.
I mean, anything in war is about results. It's about positive results. Don't matter how we had to get them bitches. It's about positive results, and results matter. Good results.
All is fair in love and war, man. This situation fell upon us, and we would have loved it done it the right way. We would love it. We would love to have done it, gotten everything done like what's the word? Meritocracy involved with like fair dealings and stuff like that. But just there was no fair dealings in a time like that, and people will argue there's very little fair dealings today. So some people argue that it's okay to go out their way and and participate in some degeneracy in order to gain some results. I mean to be fair with you, there's a lot of other communities. I'm not gonna say any specific names, but there's other nations. Arguably, every nation has benefited from degeneracy. And if you want to start drawing lines about what's too degenerate, then that's up to you. Yeah, that's up to you. But as far as these women, I mean, I hate to say it, but they did a lot, and they sacrificed. But it's good that they didn't sacrifice something that we couldn't have turned into some sort of a tangible gain, right? So let's go ahead and get to the rest of this video. Gotta stop.
Can be found in the story of Thomas Jefferson and Sally Heming. If you allow pop culture and TV to tell it, Sally Heming was a beautiful young biracial slave who beguiled Thomas Jefferson so much that they had a decades-long affair which produced multiple children. This relationship has been depicted in media multiple times, and in pretty much every case, it's implied that Hemings and Jefferson were in love, and that Hemings was more than a willing participant in this affair, and that Jefferson was torn between his heart and his duty as one of America's founding fathers. This, of course, is a pretty awful bleaching of the real history involved here. First and foremost, Hemings was technically the half-sister of Jefferson's wife, Martha Hemings, a product of the rape of Hemings' mother by English Captain John Hemings. Sally remained the property of that family in Virginia until she was 14, when she then accompanied Jefferson's daughter, also named Martha, to Paris, where Jefferson spent several years. That is where she began her romance with Jefferson, who at the time was 44. Hemings would have her first child in Paris at 16 and sire more children over the course of this relationship with Jefferson. Hemings had the opportunity to be free in Paris, but agreed to stay with Jefferson due to her children technically being his property, and thus accompanied him back to Virginia. Ironically, even this romanticized, bleached version of the story was never told for a long time, considered unfounded rumors. It took generations to first have this relationship be acknowledged by many historians, and even then the Black descendants of Thomas Jefferson were often excluded from his legacy until relatively recently. This was the reality of love affairs between slaves and slave masters during slavery. And after slavery ended, a slew of legal practices and not so legal social and cultural norms were put in place to maintain a rigid social hierarchy with Black people at the bottom. The goal of most of these practices was to make it pretty much impossible for anyone Black to be able to vote, own land, or hold certain licenses that might allow them to increase their lot in life. And as a result, Black folks often set out to create and build communities amongst themselves where these laws and these barriers were not in place. Due to this separation, rarely was the issue of race mixing a legitimate thing to worry about outside of a few isolated incidents. And this was because it was explicitly illegal, and not just illegal, but also basically punishable by death by way of mob violence. Lynchings, riots, and acts of white terrorism were the ever-present threat to Black people who stepped out of line, especially Black men who were mythologized as these insatiable sexual fiends who craved white flesh. It's important to remember that Black people were never intended to be full participants in American society. It took another century, a full 100 years, to have it written into law that Black people should be fully protected under the law by way of voting rights, anti-lynching laws, and anti-discrimination laws, etc., because of the Civil Rights Bill of 1966. But even then, miscegenation or interracial relationships were still explicitly illegal until 1968. Anti-miscegenation laws were in place for the purpose of maintaining that hierarchy, to give a white monopoly on property rights so that the state could literally dissuade and punish the few white men who did want to take Black women as wives and share their wealth and resources with them, which might create a situation down the line where Black people might have legal rights to land ownership and capital that was expected to be permanently possessed by white people. The issue has never been about love, but about power and the role that racism plays in maintaining power. The core conflict of Black people in interracial couplings is the same as the core problem of pretty much everything involving Black people, which is...
Yeah. He makes a pretty good point here. A really, really big point here. As a matter of fact, he made the exact same point Dr. Umar Johnson made, except way more. He made it a way more eloquently. He expressed it way more coherently and less offensive. So big props for FD Signifier for that. So he makes the case that these white lawmakers, right, made it illegal for a black person and a white person to marry because they were aware of the exchange of wealth that would have partaken in the event of their matrimony, right? So so essentially, like, how do you feel about that I guess that defense, that chess move that those whites created, right?
I mean, it's a good move. That's what I would do if I was in power. But sucks for the person on the other end. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree. That's all it really is. It's chess.
Chess, not checkers. And I know, and this is just the so when Dr. Umar says when he criticizes people like Kobe Bryant, right, for marrying outside of his race, due to the reasons of the exchange of wealth that happens in the black from the black community back to whatever community it is. Like it's not just white people, because like I said, there's passport bros that go across seas and take the money not just from not just from the black community, but America as a whole. So that money doesn't even circulate in America anymore, and takes it to the Philippines and stuff like that. And they love, and they kiss that they watch they let that do dirty jobs for that. You feel me? As a matter of fact, just a quick example, they'll move like they entire. I've heard examples of black men that go over there and the white men, like, they move half the family into the homes that man creates for that family. You know?
Yeah,
that is true.
I agree with Dr. Umar Johnson with the
economic
problem,
side.
the economic side with interracial dating. 100%. Even though I don't agree with him with the whole, I don't respect some. You can't help who you like.
That's what I said. You can't help that shit, bro.
Like, if you in the black community and you awkward, you weird, the girls ain't really feeling you, and then you got some Thailand chick that.
So all white women. Yeah, that shit happens. And you gotta blame the white women. I mean, you gotta blame the black women for that, because they only like a certain type of men. I'm sorry, but they really only like a certain type of men, and that's their fault. And then they get mad when the problem is they get mad once that fruit started to bear real fruit. I didn't know you was gonna be a fucking millionaire. Hey, that's not my fucking fault. You didn't want to believe in a nigga because I watched cartoons. I was nerdy, so you didn't like me because you didn't like me for my core values. You only like me because I have money, and then you're mad that I'm spending my money with a person that's non-black. But that non-black person, she liked me when I was broke, when I was just an idea in my mind of what I wanted to do.
Now I have to offer a counter argument to that. We also have to take into account that there's a culture that's been created, right? Whether it's been from the dominant societies, more dominant cultures, not just white people, but as well as the black people, the black men that participate in the culture that respond to the black women, that respond to the black men, that respond to the black women. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. This is a clog, right? That's been going in circles and circles and circles, mm-hmm. and everybody is jumping into the whirlpool and not trying to make any sorts of strides of stopping it. It's not, in my opinion, right? Mm-hmm. I don't know what came first, the chicken or the fucking egg, right?
Okay.
But
I mean, the egg. You can't get the chicken without the egg.
All right.
I mean,
I feel you. I don't know who the egg is, nigga. That's what you're saying. Whoever the fuck the egg is in this situation, whoever the egg is in this situation is the cause of it. And I don't know who did that, but the onus is on us to find out how to stop this. What's the metaphor here? To stop this
cycle.
thing.
A cycle?
To stop the cycle from spinning, right? So, I mean, and I only say that speak. I'm not saying that to you. Mm-hmm. I'm speaking to the audience because that's like a lot of the men and women. A lot of the men are blaming the women, right? And a lot of women are blaming the men. And this is the only answer that's going to stop this perpetual this gear from perpetuating from cycling, from keeping the cycle going. We have to, in my opinion, right, we have to do a little bit less of blaming each other and do a little bit more of shaking each other's hands and coming to solutions, in my opinion.
Well, no, I agree, but women control the market, Mark.
That's what I'm saying. I was about to say that shit too. It's
Women
all
control
really up
the
to them.
market. Like men are natural problem solvers. So
please explain the market just very briefly for the people.
Okay, guys.
What's the
I'll
market?
keep it short. When it comes to dating, women control the market.
Okay.
Now, and remember, me and you had this conversation.
I think we
before.
all get it now.
Yeah.
We get it now. Please continue. Now, I just want people to know what the sexual marketplace is.
Yeah.
That's what it means.
So we had this conversation before. Like, if they got people like grew up like me versus grew up like you, like, in all hindsight, people like you that grew up the way you did should get all the women. Period. Y'all nice, you're kind, you're respectful, you're mindful, you respect your parents, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But the women don't go for that. They go for the fucking dickheads and delinquents and degenerates. You get good grades, you man for respectful, you open the door for girls, oh, thank you. You're a good friend. I'll rob a car, knock a nigga out. Oh, my God. Ooh, I'm finna get that. Like, what the hell? That's stupid.
I understand. Agree.
Oh yeah, I agree. I completely agree. Like Rob said, they control the market, right? I literally tell you this all the time, right? If the world really wants to change and they want, like, if black men wants to change, it will have to start with our women, because men follow what women want. So if black women say they don't like thugs and gangster ass niggas and this, that, and the third, niggas won't be it.
Yeah.
If you say you want a nigga to be smart, this to the third, and all you women abide by this fundamental fucking law, I guarantee you all black men will start to follow that fucking law.
I'm trying to tell
because
you.
because we, at the end of the day, it's always about, in this world, it's about money and pussy. That's what niggas wake up for.
Follow the money, follow the pussy.
You know what I'm saying? That's literally, that's what it's always been about. So if black women want this type of man and this six-figureness and all this other shit, you have to demand that from all women, like this type of standard of high, excellent men. And then black men will try to follow that. But they know you don't really want that. You like the loud, ignorant motherfucker, the dude that disrespects you, this, that, and the third, and goes upside your head. Y'all, some of y'all say y'all don't, but y'all always seem to be with that type of guy. So therefore, you like that shit. I'm sorry, but that's just what it is. You like that shit.
All right. Yeah. So, okay. So, the counter argument, what's the word? The prevailing argument, no, let me try it again. The prevailing counter argument to that, Savage, is men create the culture. Right?
No, we don't. No, we don't.
Women. So that's like, let me further explain it. Men create the culture by way of capitalism. Men have the most access, or the best access to capitalism. Period. And I'd argue that even though we're talking about black people specifically, black men are still outpacing women as far as monetary gain. It might change in 20 years, and I don't know what the heck is going to happen to the culture when women is out, when the women that are economically surpassing the black men, right?
They're gonna look down on you. They're gonna look down on you.
They unless we do something now to change their mentalities. But that's another can of worms.
Yeah.
That's another can of worms. What I'm saying here is, up until this point, black men are the best rappers, right? Black men are creating a lot of dances. I don't know if it's the most dances, but black men are creating a lot of dances. Black men are creating these clubs. You know what I'm saying? A lot of us are making a lot of money off of black culture.
Well, black people don't own clubs.
Huh?
White people own clubs.
Okay. So I'm just saying, of the two, black men own more clubs than black women. Unless I could be wrong about that, but that's my other point. The musics, the song, the club bangs.
We dominate entertainment.
We dominate entertainment, and that thus gives us the heads up on over black women of the crafting of the culture. You know what I'm saying? So with that said, all these the ratchetness and all that stuff, the songs that men create for women to shake their ass, even though women love shaking their ass to it, they love doing that. I'm sorry, ladies, I had to be honest. Y'all, they love shaking their ass to that shit. But the fact remains is men created those songs to make money in a capitalistic system that's obviously created by people out that want the demise of us. that's why that's pretty much what these women are trying to say. And again, you can easily say, well, how come women just don't stop shaking their ass to that shit? I get that, and that's a fact. That's.
I mean, it's that simple. You answered your question.
That is true, but at the same time, those women can also just say, well, them niggas need to stop they taking advantage of us. They know what we like. It's that's what you're gonna have to contest with.
I mean, that's counterproductive. I mean, if we're not taking advantage of you, I mean, if we made something different, you wouldn't like it. I mean, I'm sorry, but the whole thing is, if you didn't want it to stop consuming the product. That's just that simple. If you want something to stop consuming it, and then it will go quietly into the dark.
That's a tough argument to beat. I still, like I said, so that's all we're gonna. That's as far as I'm gonna go as far as that counter argument and stuff like that. They say we create the culture and they respond to the culture.
I mean,
they have full. They can at any time they can stop participating.
I mean, yeah. I mean, you're right. We created, but y'all ingest it. If you didn't ingest it, we wouldn't make it. It's that simple. If nobody makes something for nobody to use,
so
I can't say shit.
I mean, it's literally all supply and demand. I mean, niggas ain't selling cocaine for no reason. If niggas don't like cocaine, we're not selling cocaine no more. We're going to sell what they like. I can't help what you fucking like.
I remember I was in high school, and it was this dude. He was a little on the flamboyant side. He famous now. I ain't gonna say his name. People in the school to tease him all the time. They had a name for him and everything. When the girls start rallying around him and pretty much like telling dudes off, like, oh, you do this with him or you make fun of him, we ain't fuck with you. I tell you, it was like the next day, niggas were treating this man nice.
Because the bitches.
Right.
We're going to follow suit. So if you want things to change, it starts with the women. Like I always say, women going to be upset about it, but hey, it starts with y'all. If y'all want to be this important, this is what it means to be this important.
All right.
It starts with y'all.
All right, so I would argue that just because he has a good argument, right? Not to say one is better than the other. King has a good argument, all right? And I'm not conceding, this for the ladies. I'm not conceding to that argument, okay? What I'm saying is with that being a good argument, somebody is going to have to make the decision to stop perpetuating this fucking cycle. If ladies, y'all can stop ingesting this shit, and men, you can stop feeding into it. Now, what I will say is
we can't.
What I will, yeah, it's tough. What I will say is, if men pull out of perpetuating this nonsense that's a part of this culture, and other groups of men put into it,
y'all still fuck with it.
If you still participate in that, then that's gonna be on y'all. I hate to break it to you. Now, also, if we can guilt trip other cultures into stop participating in feeding this toxic culture of ours, right? And you started creating that BS for yourselves, because I am very well aware that like there's a lot of pro affirming black girl culture, and I do appreciate that, like black girl magic and a lot of these affirmations that lift black women's spirits up. I'm cool with that, but I am aware that the shit that it's working and stuff like that, that's a part of the culture as well. Now, I'm not finna shame y'all for dancing and stuff like that, but you also have to understand that with your decision to be, to twerk is gonna come cultural ramifications for that, right? And it's gonna be on. Yeah, black men can't explain those things. Only y'all gonna be able to. Only y'all can explain why can explain that away. I mean, I don't know. That's gonna be something that the time is gonna create. That's gonna create a remedy for. But I personally don't have an answer for that. But I mean, hey, at the same time, black men love when they shake their ass.
No argument there.
So
No, I agree.
it's a
I mean,
cycle.
because the problem is that sex sells in any culture. It's not just a black culture.
Yeah.
Sex sells in any culture. I mean,
But we were trying to condense it.
yeah. I mean, I'm just saying, if you go to, you go over to Japan and shit, they got the same type. They deal with the same shit we do.
I don't know booties in Japan. Why would you lie to the
Well,
people?
it's not booties. It's they booty.
What are they shaking? Back and crack.
It is. It's really a lot of back.
Back and crack.
It is a lot of back. But that's what they shaking. Okay.
There's a lot of Japanese women with nice booties. Come on, man.
No, it's not.
Anyway, come on, man. God damn it, man.
Get canceled.
Get to the point. Get the point across, man.
Should be flat back.
Get the point. The point, bro. Please get to the point.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. This whole thing of the degeneracy of sex sales is in all cultures.
True.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody has sexy music. Everybody has ass shaking music. Down to Dominicans, Mexicans, Scottish people. Everybody got it. You know what I'm saying?
True.
Everybody has it. It's just a simple fact that ours is the most glorified. We're the poster child for it.
That's true. But the problem, and I would also add to that we are also in the worst position economically.
I mean, you're right, but structure. You're right, but like I said, if you want this to stop, you got to stop the customers.
I'm done arguing. Hit the play button, bro.
Is the historical and persistent impact of racism on every facet of black life, including who you love and marry. In fact, especially who you love and marry. Black relationships overall are wrought with conflict, and interracial relationships have their own unique set of challenges because the experience of being black brings a vast array of baggage into the relationship. And this presents a problem to a lot of non-black would-be partners of black people, because their general lack of understanding about the black experience can lead to a lot of misunderstandings with their partner. They don't know that previous history, or even if they do know it, they don't understand it, or they don't quite know how that history still impacts the way black people move through the world today. But in general, most black people are well aware of how this history impacts them. They may not get every aspect, but they may not be able to cite all the theories and authors and academics and whatnot, but they feel it internally. And
so it's not really much to add to that. Are y'all got any comments about what he just said there? Yeah, he made a comment about like black people not understanding like what is going on, but they feel it internally. Again, black people, please understand and be able to cite be able to cite your feelings, right? Don't just feel things, but actually know what you're talking about and be able to point people in a direction so that people can actually take our expressions a little more serious.
This knowledge is kind of diffused over how black people often perceive relationships, whether positive or negative in that perception. They're asking, is he with her because he values whiteness over everything? Is she with him for economic viability? Is he going to treat her right or exploit this power imbalance? Or do these folks just love each other and want to live their lives? In a perfect world, that last sentence will be the only one that pops into my brain when I see an interracial couple. But unfortunately, the history of racism in this country and the way that interracial relationships have often come into conflict with the black experience makes that impossible. And all of that starts with the experience of slavery.
Okay, so we're gonna bring it down to a couple, like one or two more questions at best. So I'm gonna ask you this question, and this is gonna be my last question. When you see an interracial couple, what's the thought that comes to your mind?
I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't think about nothing what he says, but I understand what he's saying. But I don't care enough to really give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? But I do understand what he's saying. But sometimes people just rip their motherfucker if they love you. But his concept, it is right. It's not even just slavery. It's just how white men move throughout this country. You know what I'm saying? They are just pure opportunists. Like what they did to the Native American people, that was pure opportunity. They strategically went out looking for certain Native Americans that they knew that had oil money, land, and certain things of that nature, and they tried to procreate with them, marry them, and have their children, then murder them. If they couldn't get the woman, they would kill the woman and adopt their children and then kill their children. You see what I'm saying? So this is where this idea come from, because that's what white men did. They did whatever it took to prevail and get wealth. You see what I'm saying? They did it with no hesitation and did it with real malice. They didn't care who they got to kill, anything of that nature. So I don't think it's like that now. I think when you're a black woman and a white man actually come together, I think they just actually probably genuinely like each other. Then you had that one black woman that said, I'm gonna try a white man because black man ain't got this, that, and the third, and then she's gonna go be with a white man because of what he provides. But you can't say she doesn't actually love him because she may love what he provides, but she also may actually likes him as a person and things like that. It's like very subjective. You know what I'm saying? So I don't when I see it, I don't think nothing. I'm like, hey, each his own, be happy. I don't give a fuck. But I understand the dynamics of wealth transparency and things like that of that nature. So, but most times when you see the average couple, they're not that fucking rich. A white person with black, they're not that rich. Now we only get mad when we see the rich ones do it. We don't care about the low level ones doing it. We just get mad about the famous people that does it.
Oh shit! Damn, he right about that.
We don't care about the people that has no money.
Interracial dating is way more common than. Damn, yeah.
It's pretty common.
I should have said that.
Yeah. Like, cause when you go to other states, like when I was in Florida, you don't see black people with black people. Black people with everybody but they people.
Yeah. When I was out there in Miami.
It's like that. Everybody with everybody. It's like that with everybody though. It's everybody with everybody. It's not nobody cares.
Kanji, any Kanji, what do you think when you see an interracial couple?
That when it's a female, they want the BBC. When it's a male, they like, hey, she got good credit.
All right.
Nah.
All right,
All bullshit aside,
okay,
I agree with
okay.
King. I agree with King. I don't see nothing. I don't. It don't even come to mind.
I feel no hate towards you. I don't care.
So I'm asking a question. I something just popped in my head. I'm sorry. I did say that was my last question, and I'm kind of holding y'all hostage at this point. But there's a narrative being spun that black men hate it when they see a black woman with a white man. What do you say to those women that make those claims?
No, that's a lie.
Men hate when they see you black women with white men. It's the same shit. But it's like the whole thing is most times they do that when it's something they really want. Like, how did he get our prettiest one? Like, they say black dudes get the white trade the trash. We don't get the bad white women. We get like the bottoms of the pickers. That's why white dudes don't give a fuck, because you're not taking our top bitches. And they come and they take our top women. And that makes, we get mad because they get our most pretty ones. You see what I'm saying? That's what makes us mad. That's all it is. It's just about you took my best bitch. That's all. I'm sorry for calling y'all bitches my best woman. I apologize.
I don't apologize for shit. But
makes sense though.
Yeah, we don't,
I actually put it together.
I don't know that to be the reason, but that do make sense, King. Yeah. Like I can't.
I promise you, a black dude wouldn't be mad if you take an ugly one. Oh, you got the ugly one. We didn't want it anyway. It's just the fact that we wanted to that, and you have it, and we're mad that you have it. So we.
But do you think it's a different? Because you gotta imagine, and I don't. I'm pretty sure maybe this shit goes way back further with the whole racism thing. But when we were children, there were a lot of media, TV shows, movies that came out with the black woman getting with the white man. And it was even a thing at one point where they on Facebook, it was like, well, don't get your Deshaun, get your John, or some shit like that.
Yeah. Because
and then black women rally behind this.
Yeah, I mean, because that goes from the whole notion, because white man's supposed to have this, that, and the third, but not all white men have this, that, and the third. Yeah. That's coming from that note. They only want the ones with money. We only care about the ones with the money. We don't care about the ones that don't have the money. That's all. So, like, we get mad about the pretty ones, and black women get mad about the niggas with the money going to the white women. They don't care about a broke nigga going to fuck a white woman. You broke. We don't want you. They only care about the ones they want when they have something that's beneficial that they thought they believe they have. And most times, those black women that talk about these men with this money, you were never in a space to even be in this nigga's view, to even, to talk to him. You're not even in his space. Like when everybody was getting on LeBron James' son, Bronny, for taking the white girl to prom. He took that same white girl to prom like 3 times. Okay? And everybody said, why he doesn't have a black girlfriend? Because most people in his school ain't fucking black. Yep. There's mostly probably rich white people, Asians, that and the third. So he's going to go what's in his environment. He don't give a fuck about y'all because you mad because she may get a few dollars. He's not thinking that. He's a kid. All he sees is a pretty bitch and he like her. That's all he sees. He don't see all the other stuff that we're trying to think that we believe he sees. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's what's in his environment. So now if he was in your environment, he didn't choose you, then you could probably feel some type of way to a certain extent. But he's not even in your area. You've never been in a place with this kid. You will never probably ever see him. You see what I'm saying? Okay. But you feel that you had a shot at him because you're black. No, you didn't. You had no close to, not a 1 in a million chance.
Yeah. Yeah. So for the folks, and then I'm going to close this one out.
Okay.
So for the folks that, unless you got something to say?
No,
Okay,
he's a king killing.
So, how do I put this? So for the black folks that are worried about their children getting with non-blacks, you have to understand that exactly as he just said it. You put your children in an environment that's predominantly white, well, that's going to be one of the consequences of your decision to move into a white neighborhood. There's a lot of other reasons, like more tangible, more groundbreaking reasons to stay within the black community, stay living in black communities, but that's a conversation for another time. What I will say is, for my answer, well, it's a little bit unique, and I'm not gonna say the whole thing right now. But my take is it's a bit on the unique side. It's like this: black people are in a position where we need tangibles. Matter of fact, give me a second. Black people are in a position where we need tangibles. All right. When you get this book, this Powernomics book written by Dr. Clyde Anderson, you understand that there's a lot of things in this world that revolve around tangibles if you haven't figured it out already. And I'm not gonna say that black people only need to be with black people in order to gain tangibles in America. I'm not gonna make that claim. What I will say is, for the point that he made about broke black people getting with broke white women, or vice versa, whatever like that, yes, nobody really cares about that for the most part. There are some tangible things that can be taken from the black community from that, but I'm not going to argue that. What I will say is, for the black women that are choosing to be, let's say, non-productive, or not non-productive, for the black women that choose to be non-breadwinners, they want to be in their, like, they want to live their feminine lives. They don't want to go to work. They don't want to make money and stuff like that. It is what it is. If there's no black man that wants to take on that financial burden, right? Then it is what it is. But for the inverse, for the black men that take on non-breadwinning wives, non-breadwinning white wives, I'm just that is going to be something that's going to cross my mind. It just is what it is. But at the end of the day, yes, you are going to love who you're going to love, and that's your God-given right. You know what I'm saying? But in my opinion, right, I do agree with Umar Johnson that there is economic takeaway for when you as the breadwinner choose a woman that's not black. All right, but overall, black people need more power couples. That's like the creme de la creme of black love.
I do got one thing now. I'm trying to close it out.
Go ahead.
But Dr. Umar Johnson made the point of when a black man dates outside his race and things happen within that relationship and how the money goes to the woman, and then she's going to propagate that money into her. Is it the flip side when a black woman dates outside the race?
Say that last part again.
Is it a flip side when black women date outside the race? Because if a black woman dates a white guy who like prominent and rich, then the money won't that be brought into the black society?
Well, white when there's a black. You talking about when a black woman is the breadwinner and she?
No, he said when a black woman attracts a white man that's a breadwinner and she marries into his family.
Of course. Yeah, that's why he tried to outlaw it. You know what I'm saying, back in the day, right? Because they didn't want that exchange with what happened.
So what doesn't that kind of contradicts what Dr. Umar Johnson is saying about black people coming together, and then based off what we were saying earlier about respecting black women that take on the notion, like shouldn't we propagate our black women, go out there, get you a different race, bring the money back to us?
I mean, technically we should, but the problem is with that, Rob. These women of today it's not that they're uneducated, they're very ignorant with the money. they don't do what you're supposed to do with your money. They just go buy shoes, Birkin bags, and dumb shit.
I'm gonna shut the fuck up.
So that's their fault.
That is a common error of black women.
Yeah. And now if they actually did right by the money, then it'd be cool. But the problem is they ain't gonna do right by the money.
Now, if a lot of people start watching this podcast and start reading this book, maybe they'll know. Maybe they'll know better to do with that money. You feel me?
I think my book might be a little more.
Well, fuck your book. That book?
Yeah.
You better get. All right, hey, this has been the Chicago Black Delegation podcast. Appreciate y'all coming through.